Hey, y'all, and welcome to day number 47 of the WSOP and the fourth annual WSOP and All Vegas Poker Daily Spaces coverage. I'm Sherry Pliscota, your host today, and we will be getting joined by several different folks this morning, which is always a fun time. So, hey, ASG, how are you?
All right.
Awesome. Hey, Joey.
Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning. Hey, Papa, how are you?
Bonjour, tout le monde. C'est
Bonjour.
vrai.
Bonjour, bonjour. A few announcements, folks. Please be reminded that we will always try to give the most updated and accurate information possible, but we are human and information is always fluid in the poker world. So please make sure to double check any information we provide to ensure yourself the best experience possible. And please correct us if we're wrong because we want to get it right. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sherry Pliscota 9212, where you can find the recordings of my daily spaces and interviews. And there's some great interviews from years past that I myself have a list of 3 that I want to go listen to just as some reminders of some information I'm seeking for future stories. So, anyway, find it on my YouTube channel. Help yourselves, people. I want to go over a few things. First of all, Jesse Fullin, not Fuller, Fullin will be with us on Monday. Jeff Platt will be with us on Thursday. So don't forget to be here or be square. Unfortunately, Rio Grinder went out yesterday of the main event. He did take home 50K in his pockets. And our friend Aaron Barone is still in it to win it. Right now, he's locked up 57,500. He has 1.9 million in chips, and they're returning to the 30K, 60K blind levels. So maybe he'll stop in here this morning. I can't imagine he would change what he's been doing every morning, including coming to talk to us. But you know what? He may be sleeping in late today, and it would be understandably so. Also wanted to let everybody know that Meishay's daughter, who was missing in Las Vegas the last few days, has been found. Praise God, Meishay's daughter has been found and she is safe and sound. Great news indeed. I'm going to go around town and give out some of the tournaments for today just to check it off of our list of things to do. Over at the Win at 1,800 hours is their turbo tournament. It is an $1,100 buy-in, $100,000 guarantee. And over at the RE at 11 o'clock is a PLO mystery bounty, $1,100 buy-in, 250K guarantee. And at 1,900 hours at the RE is a $300 no limit tournament, 25K guarantee. Over at the Venetian at 10 o'clock is day 2 of their seniors event. At 10:10 is day 1A, and at 1800 hours and 10 is day 1B of the MSPT tournament. $1,100 buy-in, $1 million guarantee. Nothing as far as tournaments at the MGM today. We'll get into the rest of those in a little while. Papa Poker, you playing today? Welcome.
I am gearing up for this $300 tournament. It is time to run on down and wrap up this WSOP. So very excited.
Oh, very good. And what have you played the last? You've been in Vegas a few days now, right?
No. I was
Or
back
did you
at
go back
work
home? Okay.
Monday through Friday, working. And I think I arrived in Vegas maybe around 5 a.m. this morning. So
Oh, okay.
we got stuck. There was an accident. Essentially, as you drive up the 15, there's a bottleneck in San Bernardino, and there was an accident right there. A couple accidents, so got stuck a little bit, but excited to do the $300 today. There's a $500 tomorrow if I'm not in day 2 of this final, everybody can play bracelet event. I think it's like, is it day 3 or day 4? But
This is day 1D. So that's,
1D.
yeah, day 1D. So the fourth flight, the Gladiator is the
Yes.
tournament, $300 Gladiator. Well, that's exciting.
Have you done the Gladiator before?
I have not done the Gladiator. I have not done the Gladiator and I have not done the Colossus. And those are two of the tournaments that I always told myself I would never do just because um, I remember it being over at the Rio and people were put in a closet, like they set up poker tables in a closet because they just didn't have room. And I remember telling myself that year, I will never play tournaments that get that large in entry size because I'm sure it's just a shit show. But now that I've been around poker for as long as I have been, um, yeah, I'll probably do each of those tournaments at some point in my life.
Well, I remember, I forget if it was last year or the year before. I always, try and focus on ROI. These are big buy-ins for me.
Oh.
And so I'm like, I'm just going to buy in once. I've got that same philosophy today. And I know I got, some sort of bad beat. And then I rebought again. And then there was another bad beat and I rebought again. So I always try and enter this tournament on 1D or the last flight because otherwise I would be like rebuying in every day and they would get their money out of me. So wait
we
until the
have
last day and force myself to be maxed out at only one or two buy-ins today.
we have a word for you, and that would be fish.
Oh, I'm totally dead money. It's like the dead money is showing up. My
So funny.
a couple of years ago, I placed in a couple bracelet events. At least I cashed. I didn't cash last year. I am 0 for whatever this year, so I am dead money contributing to the Grinders Millions.
Well, and people thank you for your donations, right? And some days we're the donors and some days we're the collectors. And, that's poker. There's only one winner, right?
Well, I've been watching this main event. I watched Grinder, yesterday. That flush over flush really sent him spiraling down. And watching how he reacted afterwards, I'm like, you know what? He's just like all of us. He made some
Absolutely.
nice plays to spin it back up after really this flush over flush. Someone had the ace high flush. He had the jack high flush. He lost almost everything. And then he doubled it up. He doubled it up. I've done that. But then he was on this sort of double up parade and he played ace king totally wrong. I was shouting at the screen, do not play ace king like that. And, it led to bad things for him. So
Oh,
it's
bummer.
interesting to see Grinder being human like all of us. But still an amazing run that he could essentially go from the winner to just doing it again day after day after day. So props to him. Nothing to be disappointed about. We all run into those coolers that he ran into as well.
Absolutely. So, are there any special interest stories, gossip, or anything else you want to bring up?
All right, yeah. Before I hop in the car and head over to this one of these final tournaments, two things. Maybe you already talked about it. I started with the Bonjour because I am watching on ESPN, but it's always just easier to watch on YouTube. And this French feed, this Winamax feed, is just so funny. I took French in high school, and so I'm like watching the World Series of Poker in French like nonstop. The Peut-être, the C'est la vie. I played in France last year. I was doing one of these cash in every country in Europe that I came up with. And I went to Bordeaux and I lost in several tournaments. I learned that instead of saying fold, you say pass when you're folding in France. And
Oh,
then after struggling in Bordeaux, I went back to Paris and maybe an hour north ended up cashing in a tournament a little bit north of Paris. But it's just so funny to be watching the World Series of Poker like while I'm at work. It's just easier to pop up YouTube for 5 minutes and I'm
you
watching
know,
this French feed and it's just too funny.
well, it is funny, but it's also kind of sad that here you are watching the French feed instead of our own feed here in the United States. It's sort of a sad statement as well. I mean, I know you're enjoying it, but at the same token, I'm thinking, wow, is this what we've really come to as far as coverage is concerned? Come on, we got to do better.
Well,
I
I,
tried
I
to find
assume it's
it.
some sort of promotion or something. I mean, I prefer Ali and Nick late at night, having Maria on there with David and others, I definitely prefer the broadcasters I know from Poker Go and now are on ESPN. but sometimes it's just easier if I'm in the middle of work to pop up YouTube real quick.
Right.
And I do think like it is a good promotion. Like I'm watching, I'm like, oh, what did Nick have to say about this hand? And then it takes me a couple extra steps, and then I'll switch over to the ESPN feed.
Well,
But
I'm going
it's
to
a
tell you,
funny angle.
I did try to. I'm north of Atlanta right now. I'm on grandma duty. And
Okay.
so I tried to pull it up on my phone because when I was at home last week, I turned on my TV actually to watch something else, and there popped up the thing that I could click to watch the WSOP live. And I was like, oh, I guess we do have the coverage. And
Yep.
so I thought, okay, so I could get it on my phone, right? So last night I'm like, okay, let me get it on my phone. And I couldn't get it on my phone through my Hulu account. So I'm not sure what the hell's going on. But so I haven't watched one iota of the main event since day one. Sad to say. So I'm going to have to go back and catch up because that's some of my favorite poker to watch for sure. But it is what it is.
Now, have you ever taken French? Do you understand French?
I have taken French and I understand very little, but I understand it enough to catch on to what's going on, I guess
Yeah.
is the point here. And I have thought about putting that French um, YouTube channel on, but then I'm like, wait a minute. Why do I need to do this? I should be able to pull it up and watch it like I have for X amount of years, right? So, anyway, so what's your second topic you want
Okay,
to bring up,
second
sir?
topic. I'm sorry to bum people out, but did you see this news about Roy Thung?
Yeah, we talked about it
Oh,
yesterday.
well, just I did not know him, and so I guess you talked about it yesterday, but I watched him on stream just a couple days ago. So this is just so
Yes.
amazing. So,
Yeah, it's very sad. I did see him a couple days ago too. And
oh,
when Barry came up to talk about it yesterday, I was like, wait, I just watched it like you. I just watched. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy, right? And
yeah.
unfortunately, it was the same guy.
All right,
And
well, here's my
rest in
final
peace.
topic, which is I have been watching the main event.
Right.
Props to the few people that are still remaining that I've interacted with from time to time, and good luck to all of them. It's very exciting. But I know I'm a little bit too tight, and maybe Joey will understand this as I listen to his lessons throughout this whole summer. I am a little too tight at the table. Today is only a $300 event. So this three better fold, I'm going to three bet like crazy. I'm going to put on my grinder hat, and it's going to be no holds barred today. So I'm going to try and take some of these lessons, and this worried about my big buy-in. Let's throw that out the window, and I'm going to try and spin it up like some of these people I've been watching on stream. So wish me luck, Sherry.
Well, I do wish you luck. And there's one thing I've learned this WSOP is no matter what these coaches are telling you, they're playing differently than what they're telling you people. I mean, look at Kristen Fox and won a huge hand
Yep.
with 4-5. The poor guy hits his ace on the flop, and she goes runner straight. I mean,
Yeah,
with
he did
four
not put her
five.
on 4-5, right?
Come on.
So too funny.
And who's playing that in that spot? But anyway, just goes to show you be careful what you listen to as far as coaching is concerned, people.
Well, I am excited for this main event to wrap up, and then I'm sort of getting excited about waiting a week or two for it to show up here in August. So I will stay watching the coverage, and I'm going to run over to Horseshoe in Paris right now. And Sherry, it's been so much fun this summer.
Well, I appreciate you joining us every Saturday. And I think I'm going to try to do something for that August final table,
Okay.
whatever coverage. I think, yeah, let me just work on it. I just need, this 53 days to end so I can take
Yeah,
a
let's take
little
a
break,
pause.
take a
Exactly.
little break, a little pause, and then I will think about what we'll do those days of those main event coverage
Well,
in
I'd be happy
August.
to show back up in August for a day or
That'll be
something.
great. That'll be
And
great.
thank you, everybody. It's been a great summer, and I'll try and tweet out how I did to everybody
Perfect.
here over the next couple days.
Perfect. Good luck and thank you again. It's been a pleasure.
All right, thanks all. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Papa Poker. Good luck in that gladiator, my friend. Good luck in that gladiator. We want to hear nothing but good stuff and final tables and 3 bets and 4 bets and take it down. Take it down. All right, I'm going to turn it over to a resident poker guru lesson giver, Joey Gargiulo. What you got for us today, sir?
Oh, today we are going to talk about ORAC and the first machine to compete against live players and actually be successful. So, ORAC is Caro, spelled backwards, Mike Caro. And if you never have the opportunity to spend any time with Mike Caro, and you do have the opportunity to do it, I strongly suggest it. I was very fortunate when I was writing the Poker Gods series. I was very fortunate to have been introduced to Mike in Downstream. It's a casino in Missouri, on the border of Missouri and Oklahoma. And it's a mutual friend said, this is somebody that, walked up to Mike and is like, you need to talk to Joey, and you guys have a lot in common. Now, I'm going to paint the picture. Back in 1982, the movie War Games came out. I'm sure you guys remember that movie, right? Where somebody was working on a mainframe computer and to solve the decision trees, there they are again, for thermonuclear warfare. And in the movie, they also programmed the computer to play games like tic-tac-toe and other games. And it was also around the time when chess was solved by computers. Now, my first personal computer was a Commodore 64. And I'm not going to give this all away because you really have to read the Poker Gods series because it's based upon true stories about my personal quest to try to train a computer to play poker. It's not easy, my friends. Not easy at all. And at about the same time that I was going down this road, Mike Caro had acquired a Apple IIe computer, or a version of an Apple IIe computer. And if you don't know Mike Caro's history, we all know him for the Book of Tells. But what he really should be credited for is when Doyle Brunson was putting together the authors for the original Super System back in the 1970s, he asked Mike Caro if he would contribute the statistical tables in the back of the book that have to do with hand equity. And Mike had worked years and years by hand, no computers, calculator and pen and paper, to create this massive chart of, what percentage of equity do aces have versus kings versus queens, and yada yada yada. And those charts, some of those charts made it to Super Systems, and some of the chapters in the Super Systems were written by Mike Caro, which was kind of cool. And Mike went on this quest to program a computer to play poker. He started with Limit, and then he realized, okay, it's pretty good. Let's make it. Let's get it to play no limit poker. So if you think about all of the things that he had to program into it, he had to. And remember, this is before GTO. This is before solver, computer solvers. This is back in the 1980s, and it was actually a glorified Apple II computer. We'll call it that because he souped it up a little bit, and he had the most state-of-the-art hardware. But even then, just to put things in perspective, those computers back then had about the memory of a modern Texas Instrument calculator, like a scientific calculator that you could buy for like $19.99 right now. That's the extent of the memory and the power of those computers back then. They're nowhere near what like our smartphones can do or anything else. But he was able to start programming the computer to make the decisions that we need to make, the things that we were talking about this week. And the decision trees look something like this. Like if the opponent checks or calls here, do I bet? Do I raise? If they bet, do I raise? How large of a wager? What is the pot size? If the pot size is this amount, what do I bet? So he programmed pot odds into it. He programmed fold equity into it. And then he gave it a personality. And this is where it really went into a really great direction. He programmed Aurak how to bluff. Not sophisticated bluffs, but enough bluffs to keep his opponents on their toes. So when the board got really sticky, when a flush or a straight would complete, and the computer was just sitting on a pair or a two pair or a substandard hand to what the board completed, there were a certain percentage of the time in certain pots, the computer was programmed how to bluff. Now, he has his computer. It's the 1984 World Series of Poker, and Mike Caro brings Aurak down to the World Series of Poker to challenge all of the greatest poker players in the world to a heads-up match. Anybody that wanted to play against it, they could. Now, what was really cool is he made this shoe with a optic scanner, and he put barcodes on all of the cards so that the audience can actually watch the computer playing, as opposed to Mike typing in what cards the computer had and what the board was. So he came up with scannable cards back in the 80s. Can you imagine this? And the computer kicked ass. Like, it went like 2 out of 3 against Doyle Brunson. There's a whole list. If you do the research, you could see. It was a big sensation. So big that the local papers here in Vegas wrote about it. Now, Isaac had mentioned a name a few weeks ago. He had mentioned Bob Stupak. Or we talked about Bob Stupak. Now, if you don't know who Bob Stupak is, he comes from Pittsburgh. His dad was a well-known owner of an underground dice racket, dice clubs. That was a big thing on the East Coast, with these gambling places where they had music, they had bar, and they didn't play cards, they gambled on dice. And Bob came to Vegas, and we all know him for the Stratosphere, because that was originally called Vegas World. And this was like right at the height of Bob Stupak's career. Like, I think I'm pretty sure he ran for mayor. Like, he was a well-known, well-polished celebrity person in town. He owned this town. Bob Stupak gets word about this alleged computer that Mike Caro had programmed to play cards, and Mike did a challenge. Bob Stupak challenged Aurak to a heads-up match. Now, rumors were that it was a $500,000 match. Mike Caro swears it was a $250,000 match. But I'll tell you who picked it up. One of my favorite shows when I was a kid, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Remember that show? So Ripley's Believe It or Not filmed an episode, October 1984, Man versus Machine. And it became national headlines that on national TV, a computer is going to take on Bob Stupak really believed he was the world's greatest poker player. Okay. He honestly believed that. He wasn't, but he believed that. And that's how they build it. They build it that way. And the rules were simple. 2 out of 3 match, heads up. If anything were to go wrong with the computer, the hand was considered void. Well, Aurak was up 1-0. The first match, 1 match. The second match, Aurak had Bob Stupak in a very bad spot because the computer had a set. Bob Stupak had 2 pair. Bob shoved all in. Mike Caro goes to hit the button, and somebody tripped over the power wire. and the whole computer froze and went down. Craziness. And they had to reboot the computer. And if Sherry, you remember these computers back then, it wasn't like you just flip a switch, right? Rebooting took a
Dude,
few.
it's 45 minutes later and you're still hoping it's coming back on with your data.
Right? And it did not. So now Mike's whipping out floppy disks, reloading the software. It's craziness. And Bob Stupak actually went on to win the second and third match. And it was a big embarrassment for Mike Caro. All the papers like bashed what he did, and like they really discounted the amazing work that Mike put into programming this computer. Now, interesting, you could, and I challenge anybody that's listening to these spaces, you can go and you can find libraries of old Ripley's Believe It or Not episodes. But one episode is missing, the October 1984 episode. And because I was like, I want to see if I could figure out if who tripped over this wire. I wanted to watch this episode. It seems so freaking cool. A computer playing against a well-known professional poker player. And one day, Mike calls me up. He's like, Joey, I found a VHS copy on Etsy or somewhere. He goes, it's being shipped. I'll let you know when I get it. A week later, Mike calls me up. He's like, Joey, I got the box that I ordered for Ripley's Believe It or Not. I was so excited because I was going to make you a copy of the VHS and everything. I opened the box, and it was a Ripley's Believe It or Not t-shirt inside. No VHS tape. It's like the universe is conspiring to hide this episode. It disappeared from human record. It's very, very interesting. And what I find more interesting is if you were to ask AI or historians or Google it even, what was the name of the first computer to beat or be able to compete heads up against a human being? It'll tell you about some college. I'm not going to name the name of it. Decades later, that's invented a poker playing computer machine that could beat professionals. Yet. Those that were at the 1984 World Series of Poker, they witnessed it, they saw it. Those that watched Ripley's Believe It or Not on TV witnessed it, and you could still find news articles about the match, but there's no more footage. It's a mystery. So today's was more like a history lesson, but it ties into everything that we spoke about this week. Mike took all of the components of math that we talked about this week, even the combos, everything, and just programmed it into a computer. And this is the very early origins of what we call solver and GTO. And that's a piece of history that should not be forgotten. And that is our lesson for today, Sherry.
Well, thank you. And I agree. That is a piece of history that should not be forgotten. And hopefully that footage will turn up sooner or later. I wonder if we reached out to the Ripley's Believe It or Not people, if we could get something out of the archives.
Right? Like and I'm sure Mike went down that road, it's just, yeah, I wonder. It's out there somewhere.
It's
So,
out there somewhere for
yeah.
sure, dude, for
Mhm.
sure.
Yep. And one thing that he programmed into it, and it's tomorrow's lesson, is understanding ranges and frequencies. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Nice. I love it. Love it. Thank you, Joey, so much for
You're very
that
welcome.
lesson. Appreciate you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, frequencies. Ay, ay, ay. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. I gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, people. We all have to love it no matter what. We definitely need to love it. Thank you, Joey, though, for that lesson for sure.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate you. Okay, you guys, an announcement. And then I see Aaron's joining us. I'm going to make this announcement real quick while he's coming up to the microphone. The WSOP for sales. What is that room name? For sales? Cage. For sales.
Versailles.
Versailles, thank you. Versailles cage closes on the 16th of July at 5 a.m. So that cage is going to close. And then after that date and time, the Paris casino cage will be where you go to cash in any chips or get payouts or whatever. And that is going to be open the 16th through the 26th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. After the 26th, the payouts will be by appointment only. So don't make your life harder by just waiting until after the 26th. Get in there before they close the cages down for this, for the payouts, because then you'll have to make an appointment for a payout and you'll have to email WSOP FAQ at Caesars.com to make an appointment to get your payout. So, don't make your life harder by waiting to get your payouts. Go right away, get your payout, or wait a few hours if you think the line is too crazy. But don't wait until after all those deadlines, okay, people? You're just making it hard on yourselves, really. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, so to do a payouts, and keep in mind you have both the main event, which we're not losing too many people, but a lot of people still didn't cash out because they want somebody to go with them and stuff. And you have the gladiator going on, so expect lines right now. And you have a bunch of people that cashed weeks ago. Sherry, they're just showing up
Oh, I
now.
know. Oh, I
It's
know.
insane. Somebody
I
said it was
make
an
this
hour and 15
announcement.
minutes.
I make this announcement every year, Joey. Every year we have this conversation. And yet we have people saying, Sherry, what's the email address? I need to make an appointment to go get paid out, which is so crazy to me. But here we are. Here we are. I don't know why they want to make it harder on themselves, but they do. All right, Aaron Barone, on to day 6 with what 1.9 million. You've locked up 57,500. Congratulations, Aaron.
Thank you very much. It's obviously a very new experience for me to make day 6. Last year I made day 5. And yesterday was, I mean, for a variety of reasons, the most exciting day I've had. Maybe it should be that way, that the deeper you go, that becomes a more exciting day. But the most, for me, interesting part of yesterday was that a year ago, day 5, near the end of level 2, I think, I had a spot where I faced an all-in on the river, and I had a hand that could really only beat bluffs, and I just thought there were enough bluffs in my opponent's range. It was close. I didn't really want to hero call and be wrong, but I felt good about the spot, and I called, and unfortunately, I was wrong. He had a much better hand, and I was out, and that felt disappointing. You always, when you lose a tournament, you'd prefer to lose it when you have the best hand. It's a better. It makes people think that you've done better than you did. If you have aces versus kings, people are like, "Oh, unlucky." If you get an ace queen versus aces, they're like, "Ugh, that's not good." So
Right.
that was unfortunate. And then we fast forward to yesterday. Again, a year after my hero call gone wrong, day 5, end of level 2, last hand before dinner break. I play a hand where I have a decision on the turn to hero call my whole stack off. I'll be really quick about the action, but it was 25 big blinds. I defended the big blind with 7-5, having the 7 of hearts in my hand. The flop came with 3 hearts. I check raised small with my flush draw. Also had a straight draw. My opponent called. Another small heart came on the turn, giving me a very, very weak flush. I checked, and he went all in for like 1.5 times the pot, which was my stack. So I have a very
Let me
weak
just
hand.
stop you. Hold on. Stop you right there. I'm just
Sure.
telling you, when I'm watching the footage, I'm screaming at the screen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I have a very weak hand here, and my opponents put me all in the main event, and I'm not getting a good price. It's not good pot odds.
Yeah.
And again, it's a very similar spot where I have the option to hero call my whole stack off. The difference being, there are cameras on this one. It is the
Yeah.
break. So my table has gotten up to leave, but they've actually stuck around to watch this hand, which that happens more during the later levels. People want to watch the last hand for information. And so there's a crowd around me, there's the cameras, and I'm just thinking to myself, man, if I'm wrong, not only am I out of the tournament, but it's going to look, I'm going to get roasted. Like I'm going to be, this guy's a pro. He called all in with a 7-high flush on day 5 of the main event. Like, what are you doing, bro? And I quickly tried to push that thought out of my head and just think about the hand. And I finally reached the conclusion of my opponent will not have enough really good value hands, and they will have a lot of bluffs. And, it took me another minute after that to put the chip in, but I did. My opponent showed 2 pair on that board as a bluff, and I was grateful, lucky, blessed, whatever you want to call it, to dodge the river, and we had a huge double up. So that was for me the biggest hand of the day. I think after that, there's nothing that can really bring me down. Like I could get cooler today. First hand, I would still feel like this was a very, very successful series and an upgrade over last year.
Awesome. So exciting. So who's at our table today?
I believe we've got TJ Reed at our table today.
Oh, that's right. I did read that. Yep.
Yeah,
He's an awesome guy.
I recognize him. I also played with the player on my right, Archer, yesterday. Really good player. I figured he was good, but I tried to figure out how good really early was something that I did. That's basically it's a play that you shouldn't make against someone who's really good, but a really good player is going to sniff it out quickly. And it was a very cheap price that I set in a situation, and he called very quickly, and I'm like, oh, he's really good. Like with the hand that he had and how quickly he called, I figured it out. And so I feel I don't want to say my read on him is good, but I think my read on his ability is good. And that's an important thing to figure out when you're playing against newer players that you don't know. So he's on my table as well. Seems like a really nice guy. We chatted yesterday. The rest of the table, I am unaware of them, but hope to figure it out as soon as possible.
Awesome. Very cool. Not many more days left of all this hoopla. We are going into day 6. There's 174 players left. How many levels are you guys playing today?
I think we'll play 5.
Okay.
We've been having dinner break around 3:20, which is weird, but that was done, I think, because of the bubble. I don't know if we'll go back to doing what we're doing normally. But I think we're 1 level behind where we're supposed to be. So again, I'm not really sure how they're going to structure it, but I would guess still 5 levels.
Okay. Very good. Well, that's very exciting. Did you sleep well?
I slept great. I know, again, the money is more every day, and the field is smaller,
Right.
and the pressure is or should be higher. But today of all the days is the one of the least pressure days I've had ever playing the main, because I've already locked up my biggest score in the main. I've already had my deepest run. I, made a very ambitious and potentially soul crushing hero call, and it went well. I played 7 hours with Patrick Leonard the day before, which was very tough on my left. Yesterday, I'm at a tough table. A seat opens up. They put Patrick Leonard there again. I'm playing this entire main event on like expert level difficulty, in my opinion, and I'm still here. Like, what? Like, there's going to be pressure if I make it deeper, of course. But what's the pressure today? There's like 1 page jump available, I think, and
Well, I'm going to
I'm
tell
short
you
stacked.
the only pressure is the pressure you put on yourself, buddy.
Exactly. So I don't really feel any. I mean, obviously, I think it'll be different when I'm in the arena in the moment, because it's still a poker hand and there's still some pressure. But today feels like the most free roll day that I've had ever playing the main event. And if I continue down this path, I doubt it'll feel that way. And it's not like I'm opposed to feeling the pressure, but I'm just being honest that I am anxious to play. I'm excited to play, but it's not like a negative energy. It's just I can't wait for this thing to happen sort
I
of
love
energy.
it. I love it, love it, love it. ASG, you have any questions or comments for Aaron?
No, good luck. Keep it going. Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch. Hopefully for us, you're on a feature table.
Right? Hell yeah. Joey, any questions or comments for Aaron?
Yeah, I'd be interested to know, would you want to be in a feature table, Aaron, or would you rather just be like, hold off as long as you can?
I stream a lot. Like that is my basically the reason that 888 Poker signed me was because I stream we'll call it 80 hours a month. So I'm used to people seeing my cards. So to be in a feature table, that part doesn't bother me. But my previous feature table experience, it was actually hot and it was very bright and that was somewhat uncomfortable. I've had an issue with some of the lighting so far. When I put my glasses on, it gets too dark. So there's a little concern about that. Um, I think there's a small chance right now we get put on a feature because TJ Reed is the biggest name in our table, and he is part of the WSOP, I think, vlogger
Half.
program.
Yep.
So maybe because of
Okay.
him, they'll put us
Okay.
what?
Time out. He's
Oh,
not
he's
part of
gone.
the.
Sorry.
No,
He's
I just want to make sure that I disseminate the correct information.
sorry.
TJ Reed is actually a WSOP staff member, and he is part of the crew that is organizing the circuit events. So we just want to make sure we're
Correct. Correct.
right.
I misspoke. I know he gets
That's
a
okay.
big.
No worries. No
I
worries.
I know he gets a check from them,
Yep.
and deservedly so, I might add. Nothing against that at all.
Of
But maybe
course.
they put him on there because he's more public facing. But I think there are other tables they're going to pick ahead of ours. If they said to me, Aaron, you have the choice, you can decide whether your table is on feature or not, I would probably pick not. Um, just because I think that the feature table right now, I feel again no pressure. I think the feature table adds some pressure, and I don't, I don't, I wouldn't say like if someone said, you have to do this. Do you feel bad about it? Nah, I'll do it. But I think I'd prefer not to right now. But I might feel differently in the moment. Again, not opposed to it, but wouldn't be clamoring for it to happen either.
Right on. I prefer to stay under the radar until it gets down to the last two tables. Then I don't care. I just want to play my game. Like, take the camera over there. Leave me alone. I want to focus on my game, people.
Yeah, and the thing is that once like the stack size that I have is 30 big blinds. And that's more than enough as an online player. It is below average for this tournament. But the funny thing is that the shorter my stack gets, actually the more comfortable I would feel being on like a televised feature table, just because I'm I'm far less likely to get out of line and just punt it off. Like I know that I'm capable of doing that. I'm very aware of it. And the deeper stack that I have, the more likely I'm going to be going for it in certain spots. I'll have the uh, uh, more situations arise that it could happen. Where I think shorter stack your decisions are a little more at least straightforward. But again, like if I'm pretty indifferent, like I'm kind of realizing that right now, like, do I want to do it? Part of me says no, part of me says yeah. So I guess it just comes down to if they pick us for it, great, I'm in. And if not, that's fine too.
Right on. Right on. You got that backpack packed yet?
I do. I'm all ready. Bought my stuff.
Nice.
My end of night routine is to go down to the CVS here and just buy a bunch of protein bars and stuff them in there, along with some water and such, just in case they don't let us have dinner at a regular time. But we're all
Right.
good. I'm gonna try to go to the gym for like 30 minutes as well before my day 6 begins, just because get some blood flowing. I've always found that doing something physical really does help me out with like mental stamina. And we're in the, you know, we're more than halfway through here, and it's very
Right
easy to be
on.
exhausted after this
Right.
main event run.
Hell yeah, get that blood pumping. And I'm happy to say now we are part of your morning routine here in Spaces. Oh, I love it. Love rooting you on, Aaron. Love that you join us. And I am so happy for you, proud of you. And you know what? You got the world at your fingertips, buddy.
Yeah, and I experienced a little bit of this last year that there are such good vibes that are around me during this run. And I think a lot of people who play the main event have a very similar experience, which is your friends and family, back home are rooting for you either through socials or through a text. Like it's just everyone is kind of rallying around you, no matter how deep you run in it. And the deeper you do run, the more you get to experience that. And I get to experience it here live too, where I'll walk to my seat this morning and I'm sure I'll see at least 10 people who I've either played with or I know through poker, or dealers that I know and things like that, media members, and they'll like say hi, wish me luck, fist bump, how are you doing? Like it feels a lot more like a community. And each day I make it deep in this tournament, somehow that grows, and so I really don't want to lose, in part because of that, and also because we're talking about pretty decent pay jumps here. Each day you make it deeper, and
Hell yeah.
I think I said it yesterday. A lot of incredible players will never make it to day 4 or day
That's
5.
right.
Like it's one tournament a year, um, and there's a lot of variance in it. So I'm just trying to really be present and enjoy every moment because I know how rare this can be.
Love it. Absolutely love it. And we are rooting for you. And we are excited for you. And you know what? It just goes up from here. And no matter what happens, it just goes up from here. No
Yeah.
matter what happens.
I do have one request of Joey.
Yes.
If Joey's still around, if I make it 2 more days, I'm gonna probably run out of shirts. And I know he has one shirt of mine that he got for you, my Hendon Mob shirt. And I'm not saying I will give it back, but I would like to wear it if I make it a couple days deeper in the tournament. So if he's still around and that's possible, hopefully we can link up for that.
Well, let me offer you something. I have a friend that's doing a laundry service for the WSOP. Do you want that connection?
The problem is that if I lose today, I might fly out tonight. And if it's late enough, I would just fly out early in the morning. So I'm as soon as I lose, or of course become champion, I'm gonna fly out within 16 hours after at the latest, and so I would probably wouldn't have time to get the laundry back. So at
Well,
this
let me just
point,
say to you, he would pick it up today and bring it to you tomorrow. Just keep that in your data bank. So if you need that, just reach out to me, okay?
okay, we'll do.
Yeah. Go ahead, ASG.
So I just wanted to share. I didn't know if you saw it, but Amit, the guy who left early the first 2
Yeah.
days to go watch Obsession multiple times, he tweeted. Was it this morning or yes? No, this morning he tweeted prediction: 2 commas going into live earnings. I'm calling it with a picture of your Hendon.
What a guy! I do love his. He and we had dinner the other night with a couple other poker players, and afterwards he and I walked back to, I think, from Venetian to Horseshoe, and we just had a nice little chat about continue our conversation about the game and my approach to it, and how much he appreciates that I try to do it in a responsible way when a lot of others don't. Um, I would love to make his prediction true, and he's actually pretty good at prediction markets and investing and those sort of things. So maybe he has some information that makes him think I'm going to do well. Maybe but regardless, great guy. I hope to prove him right.
Yeah, he said has more reps in every spot than practically anyone left. The internet thing gives him a huge edge. He just needs Jesus a la Buddha and a 3-legged prostitute of Bravos to shower him with the Quan.
That's hilarious. Oh, that's funny. He is a funny guy. I love it. That's hilarious. Oh, God, there's never a dull moment on social media, is there? There just is never a dull moment. Oh, my Lanta. Too funny, you guys. I hate that he scrubbed his Twitter account, though. I
He'll be
hate that.
back. He'll be back. He just
I,
wants to
I
take a little
agree,
break.
but I agree, but you know, some of those tweets were historical, and I hate that he deleted. But it is what it is. Did I read correctly? Poppy wrote a tweet that they were straddling on the live feed of the main event. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard about that. At my table, someone had came over, and one of the media members was like, they were convinced to do a round of straddles on the feature. And as somebody playing in the main event, we're down to, at that time, maybe 240 players. So
All
there's,
right.
I don't know, max of 30 tables. We're all in the same area, and we can hear what's going on at other tables. And there are certain tables that are completely stoic and quiet. And there are some tables that it feels like you're watching it's a 1-2 drunk home game. And the feature table sounds like it was more like that. There are some game integrity concerns about agreeing to a round of straddles in a tournament. But that's probably a separate issue. I do think it's really fun for the viewer. And, not that that's the main goal, of course, but I understand that being the secondary goal because this is a show for a lot of people.
Well, but you know, we shouldn't just be bending all the rules because it's a show for people.
Oh, I don't.
There is there's no straddling in tournaments. I mean, I can't even believe the WSOP allowed that to happen. ASG, were you watching?
I was not watching because it was at like 3 a.m., but I watched some of the replay.
Do we know how it started? Like who started the conversation or how they got to that point?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't watch enough to see who started it. I could take a guess based on one of the players.
The Timu Hawkins?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call him Timu Hawkins because he had much better energy, in my opinion.
I have not watched him enough to know. I'm just joking.
He definitely seemed to be, though, the table captain of sorts. He definitely felt like he had a few drinks in him. Had a great interview to end the night, and was talking about, part of his interview did also speak about how he's not even supposed to be here because he was previously banned by the WSOP and for what I don't know and how it got lifted, I don't know, but yeah, definitely seems like he's
and now he's got people straddling in a tournament at the WSOP, the main
his
event, no
interview
less.
was like basically a
Oh
very
my God.
YOLO philosophy.
Oh my God. Here he is banned, unbanned, getting people to straddle the main event on a live feed. What are we doing, WSOP? And we thought Kasuf or Kabrahel were a problem? Come on. What are we doing here? Holy smokes. We're just going to throw the rules out for clicks and views? Starting to sound like it. Starting to sound like it.
I mean, technically, they were unobligatory blind min raises in theory.
Yeah. So I'm going to try. I can't even say I'm going to be able to have time to do this today because my daughter's team is playing. So I'm on grandma duty here in about an hour. But I would love to go back and just watch the live feed to see when the conversation started and how that all got started. And then we'll talk about how innocent it really was, or was it? Oh my goodness. If anybody in the audience watched that last night and can answer that question, come on up here and let me know. Joey, were you in the vicinity?
I was not. I was over at Bellagio visiting some friends who work here before I went back to New York. So I was
Got
not
it.
there.
Got it. And how did your day go at the WSOP? Did you get many interviews or, three-way calls?
I did, and it was just so much fun. Like people were like, well, besides themselves, like they couldn't believe that I was able to do that for them. And I caught 3 players right before they busted, and one of them had like their 75-year-old grandmother like on the call with me, and the grandmother got to see the grandson in the World Series of Poker because it was 0 footage the whole time. So that was pretty cool.
What player was that, Joe?
I can't say his name, but he busted earlier yesterday. And
What do you mean you can't say his
no,
name?
he doesn't want anybody to know. He's shy.
But did you post the video?
No. This was a
Okay.
private
Got it. I
video.
was like, wait a
Yes, I
minute.
was doing
I got
private
it.
FaceTimes. Like, how cool was that?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. It was private. Yep.
Okay. Got it.
Yep.
I was like, wait a minute. I'm so
Yeah.
confused. Okay.
Oh,
Got it. That's
there's a
awesome,
reason why I
Jeff.
can't say it is because he's going through a divorce and he doesn't want his
No,
wife's
hey, I don't
attorney to
even need
know.
I don't even need to know the details,
Yeah, but you
dude.
can
I do
imagine.
not even need to know the details.
Okay.
I was just trying to understand what was going on,
Right. No, it was
honestly.
a private FaceTime kind of video with his family. So it was really
I
cool.
love that.
Yes.
Good for you, Joe.
Yep.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you. And what did your
So I
what did
did
your
shoot a
girl?
bullet in the Gladiators, and all I can say is that it's more like a flip and go because especially like towards the end of late reg time, you just get these stacks sit down with 30,000. They got one move, but it's not one. It's like you could have 4 open seats at your table and 4 different people have potential shoves in their range, or that's all they have in their
Yep.
range is shoves. So you
Yep.
really can't see flops. You can't. It's hard to play suited connectors. There's a lot of hands that we like to play that they don't play well pre-flop, but post-flop, like Kristen proved that to us. You could destroy aces and stuff like that, but without being able to see flops, it's just a lot of coin flipping going on, and it's not easy. Even the ones that are late reg, like yesterday, Martin Max late reg, he spun it up to like 450K. He made it into the money, but still he didn't survive because people were still flipping $500,000 stacks. It was insane. It's just slow your roll, people.
How did we go from nitty GTO to just fucking shove it in there 20 times until you do something?
Right?
How did we go from one
I,
extreme to the other?
I
It's
know.
nuts.
Listen, right across on the other side was the Torse tournament going on, and it was so civil. And I walked over. I was hanging out with Alan Kessel for a little while. I was hanging out with my friend Christian Roberts. I was hanging out with Ari Engel, and I'm like, all 3 of them are like, Joey, you have 1 year to prepare, but next year. All we want you to do is play mixed games and see how much you love it next year because we are in the like Cadillac part of the WSOP. You're in Grand Central Station in the middle of rush hour over there, and it's true. It really is true. So mixed games is where it's at for me next year, 100%.
Well, that's one good argument for mixed games, but I'm a no limit player. That's just the way it is. I love the Wild Wild West. I love the Wild Wild West. All right, Aaron, is there anything else you want to talk to us about, buddy?
No, I mean, I about to get ready now and just relax, I guess, decompress a little before my day 6. I did have an interesting experience where something I'd never done before in poker, where after I made that hero call, we had a 70-minute dinner break. And the 888 Poker team and media had a dinner reservation at Flavortown, the Guy Fieri restaurant in Paris.
Right.
And we went there. And normally at dinner, I am social and gregarious, and I put down my phone. But I just said to them all, I'm like, hey, I just need to sit here in my own little bubble and just like decompress my own way because I was just buzzing. I just was filled with more adrenaline I've been filled. I can remember.
Right. Right.
And so I spent an hour just like going through my phone. Like I was at the table, but it felt like I had my own little table next to them. And again, that was a feeling I've never had before. It was very interesting for me to have. And, um, I am grateful to this game for many reasons. It's allowed me to live a life that I didn't think was possible and do things I never thought I would even enjoy doing. But, every now and again, I get to experience something completely new. And, I'm obviously grateful for that, and that happened yesterday. So, yeah, just really excited for today to play. Obviously, I hope it keeps going. But as I said before, at this point, it's a complete free roll. Nothing, there's nothing that could happen today, I think, that would just really sour this. And that includes some massive cooler, or if I bluff it off, or if I make a mistake, whatever. Things happen. so far I've already had, one of the, best times of my life.
Love it, Aaron. We wish you all the best today, buddy.
Thank you very much.
All the best. Have a great day. Keep taking it in. Keep breathing it in, buddy. Keep breathing it in.
I appreciate all of you. Take care.
Appreciate you, Aaron. Good luck. Aaron Barone, moving on to day 6 of the main event of the WSOP. He has 1.9 million in his stack, and he's returning to 30K, 60K blinds levels. And we look forward to hearing the stories about how today goes for Aaron Barone. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. I did want to make mention of our team spacers. We have 911 points. We are in 366th place out of 1,199 teams. I'm not sure how the team numbers keep going down, but they do. And we're praying for a miracle. Of course, it's looking glim and glum, but we still have some folks in it to win it today, and I will mention their names as we go through some of the events that are going on at the WSOP. I do want to make mention of Champions Club in Houston's going to have a ladies' weekend, the weekend of August 28th, and Phil Helmuth, one of the owners of that club, is donating $25,000 to the main event, the ladies' main event. To Sweet Nat Potty's donating $25K. So I will be making a trek to Houston, Texas to play in that series and looking forward to it. Have some family that live in Houston and looking forward to it. Some friends as well. Got hopefully going to get together with Katie Stone, who's joined us in Spaces many a times. Recently, you may remember her having a conversation about moving the WSOP to Texas. That may rattle your brain as to who Katie Stone is. So look forward to hopefully having some dinner or lunch with her a couple of times and some other folks. So winners around town over at the Aria. The past WSOP ladies event winner, Shaina Okamoto, took second place in the APC $1,100 tournament. 250K guarantee, and she took home 60K for her second place win. Over at the Win, Rongshai Lee took home the trophy in a 4-way deal of that $2,200 buy-in for $419,000. So congrats. Over at the Venetian, Yin Hang Chin took down event number 86, the $600 tournament for $12K plus bounties. So congrats to those winners around town. Also, there was an announcement. Arizona Department of Gaming sent a cease and desist order to ClubWPT. And I guess all sweepstakes poker sites. So that's not good. Hi, ASG, you have any comments on that?
Yeah, the letter was definitely written in no uncertain terms, basically saying that we got that, like, basically there's no thing about sweepstakes in Arizona, even if you were trying to act like you're circumventing us by doing sweepstakes. We don't have those. There's no word sweepstakes anywhere, and we'll. I don't know if they've already followed the cease and desist and shut down yet, but if not, it's coming soon.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're still live. Honestly, I would think that they would have pulled the plug on that as soon as that letter was received, but what do I know? And of course, that doesn't help our efforts to get that legalized here in the States. Just more red tape, as they say, for sure. Disappointing. I just want to say it again. Meishay's daughter, who was missing in Vegas, has been found. Again, Meishay's daughter, who was missing in Vegas, has been found. I just want to make sure that gets out. Very important. Let's talk about the player of the year. Pardon me. Right now, Foxen is in first place with 3,134 points. Kahara is in second with 2,900. 84 points. Deeb is in third with 2,817 points, and Josh Aurier is in fourth with 2,733 points. And in fifth is Texas Mike with 2,574 points. Going up 6 through 10, you have Schulman, Glazier, Rickard, I think it's Persinian. I don't know. Sorry. And Dnegs is in 10th position. So a lot of poker to be played because they need to go down the Bahamas in December as well to chase points. So it's still anybody's game. Anybody got any comments on that, Joey?
I have to go and watch, but Poker News just did a podcast yesterday about, and it was labeled, is it something like, is it fair that if the player of the year had a losing year, is it fair to give them the title? And that's an interesting
Yeah,
concept, right?
it is, but it is and it isn't. There's so many different ways to look at it because somebody can afford 10 or 15 rebuys. Now they have a losing year, right? And I don't know. There's so many different ways to look at it. Honestly, I don't know. I have to ponder it some more. Go ahead, ASG.
Well, it's not just 10 or 15 rebuys. It's like playing the 500Ks and the 250Ks
Right,
and whatever.
right,
But yeah, I
right.
also want to say, because I mean, I know he's like half joking, but I thought this was an interesting tweet from Deeb yesterday. He said, running so bad this summer for player of the year, Fox and busted, and I want to flip for a $5 million stack in the main, so now I can't play tours. And I know it's like a half joke or maybe a full joke, but also like the player of the year rewarding you for getting knocked out of the main because you can play more events
Right.
While the main is going on or after the main. Like, there's a reason why the main used to be like the last event, and yeah, this it is like part of the issue of when it's not the last event.
Right. And there's 18 events after the main event because there is the main event was event number 82 and we go to 100 events. So there's 18 events now after the main event. 18 people. And yeah, it's a tricky conversation. And then, do you limit like only the top 20 entries, the top 20 finishes count? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I don't know what the solution is, but it definitely is not fair to people that can't afford multiple buy-ins or can't afford the big buy-ins. Like, and that doesn't mean they're not a player of the year quality, right? Because you have people that can't afford those things. So I want it to be about their prowess on the poker table, not how deep their pockets are. So it is really, there's a lot to think about when you think about that player of the year race and what we want it to represent and how we want it to represent us. I don't, I don't know. There's just a lot to it. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of it like, imagine if it was a baseball team, and somebody was the owner's son or daughter on the team, so they got the most opportunities to go up at bat. Would we rate the best player on the team as the person who had the most hits? No, we still go by batting average, right? Because strikes should count, not how many times you get up and swing. And if you're swinging all the time and other people are on the bench, then maybe you're obviously gonna have an edge. So it should be something with an average, something.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, ASG.
Yeah, I just want to say right now it's top 15. That's the current, I believe. I don't have the rules in front of me, but I'm like 85-90% sure it's top 15
Top 15.
cashes.
Okay, top 15 finishes. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Now that you said that, I think I do remember them changing that.
Because it was
Yeah,
unlimited, and then after
yeah,
Matakis had all those online caches, didn't
yeah,
like the online player having so
yeah.
many in the no buy-ins, so they changed it to top 10, and now probably because of Europe and Bahamas, they made it top 15.
Yeah. It's interesting, you guys. I think it would be kind of interesting to look back as to when did the Player of the Year competition go into effect, and how many times since it's gone, started, have the rules been changed every year, because it seems to me, in my recent memory, every year it's been changed. And we're still going, wait, it's not right. So I'm not sure. I don't know. There's so many different ways to look at it. I do say, though, and I did make a tweet about this earlier in the week, that it's not fair to steal Sean Deep's thunder, because he's going by the rules. It's not fair to steal his thunder and his accomplishments because we may not agree with the rules, or we may think the rules need to be changed or whatever. Um, it's not fair to him. He's working hard toward that goal of Player of the Year. And it's just not fair to steal his thunder because people, don't like the rules or whatever. But he's going by the rules. So don't steal his thunder, people. I mean, the guy's working hard.
Yeah,
It's
Josh
not fair.
Aryeh had an interview where he was basically saying, like, Sean Deeb looks at the rules every year and then does the strategy based on what the rules are that year.
Exactly. Exactly. And you can't fault him for that, right? He's going by the rules. And you know what? Hats off to him. He finds it as a goal in his poker life. And there's something to be said about setting goals and meeting those goals. And maybe some of these folks online as you know, keyboard warriors need to set some goals for themselves that don't include being a keyboard warrior. But what the fuck do I know? So let me just talk about some tournaments around town instead. Over at the Orleans at 11 o'clock is a no limit tournament, $300 buy-in, 30K guaranteed. At 1600 hours is a toe, that is excuse me, easy for me to say, TOE tournament, $240 buy-in, 10K guarantee. At 1800 hours over at the Orleans is no limit tournament, $200 buy-in, 15K guarantee. Over at South Point, and don't forget, people, to check about add-ons. Please check on Poker Atlas if there's add-ons, okay? Over at South Point at 10:10 a.m. is our no limit tournament, $120 buy-in, 15K guarantee. At 1400 hours and 10 is their '08 tournament, $200 buy-in, 15K guarantee. At 1800 hours and 10 is their bounty tournament. Bounties are $50, $200 buy-in, 20K guarantee. And at 2200 hours and 10 is their crazy pineapple tournament, $120 buy-in, 4K guarantee. That's the poker around town. Now let's get on with the main event and the WSOP and what's going on around there. First of all, event number 87 came to a close. That was the 1K mystery bounty. There were 4,664 entries. Matthew Shepsky took it down and took home 305,000 plus 20K in bounties. Alex Mazzano came in second for 204,000. At 10 a.m. is event number 88, which is what Papa Poker is going to play today, day 1D of the $300 Gladiator. At 11 o'clock is the restart of the main event, day 6. 85 million in the prize pool, 9,208 entries, 174 remain. $10 million is waiting at the top for the winner. Zhao Lu is in first place with 10.2 million in chips. I'm just going to spell this gentleman's first name, and I'm assuming it's a gentleman. Dhiraj Sharman is in second place with 9.8 million. TJ Reed has 2.7 million in 88th position. Sean Deeb at 47th position, 4.3 million. Todd Bronson has 3.7 million. Aaron Barone, 1.9 million. Laura Eisenberg, former ladies champ, has 1.9 million. Caitlin Komeski in 135th position with 1.4 million. And the underdog going into day 6 of the main event is Elliot Kempen, who has 390K in his chip stack. So good luck to everybody still in that main event. At 12 p.m., event number 89, day 2, the 3K Mid Stakes Championship, 8.2 million in the prize pool, 3,083 entries, 923 remain in the player pool. Chad Loeb has 879,000 in chips. Cheng Yu Chung has 861,000. Still in it to win it, Alec Torelli, Michael Evasito, Poker Bunny, which I think was on Aaron's day 1 table, if I remember correctly. Poker Bunny's still in it to win it as well. At 12 p.m., event number 93, day 1, the $1,500 closer, which I'm not sure why they call it the closure because there's still 7 more tournaments after 93, but what do I know? Math is hard for some. 1 p.m., event number 91, it's the final day, $1,500 pick your PLO tournament. There's 1.1 million in the prize pool, 857 entries, 10 remain, 196,000 at the top waiting for the winner. Fahad Jamisi has 7 million in chips. Sergio Benso has 3.7 million. At 1 p.m., event number 92, day 2 of the 3K Tourse, that's TORSE tournament. 1.2 million in the prize pool, 457 entries, 157 remain, 247,000 waiting for the winner. And Big Hooney, who cashed out of the main event yesterday for 35,000, is chip leader in the Tourse tournament with 432,000. Mykonos, I'm going to spell it Panagiot. Excuse me. Let me start that again. Panagioutou is in second place with 310K. Still in it to win it. Kessler is in eighth position with 239,000. One of our horses, Bryce Yockey, still in it to win it with 237,000. Alex Livingston and Lonis is still in it to win it, as well as Jeannie David, Rob Mizraki, Benny Glazer, and Huckseed ASG. He might get a point yet this summer. The underdog, past main event champion, Tomeo, is the underdog with just 8,000 in his chip stack going into today. So good luck to all those folks, especially our horses on our fantasy league team. At 2 p.m., event number 94, day 1D, no, day 1, excuse me, 10K six-handed no limit tournament. And at 1 p.m. is the final day of the 50K high roller tournament. Event number 90, there's 9.5 million in the prize pool, 202 entries, 13 remain. There is 2.2 million waiting for the winner. Daniel Raziel is the chip leader with 7.4 million. Daniel, I think it's Sima Jovic, has 6.6 million. In third position is Bryn Kinney with 6.2 million. Still in it to win it, Seidel, Dnegs, Kristen Fox, and Chris Brewer. Now, some of the folks out of the main event yesterday, the Grinder cashed out for 50K, Chino Reed, 32,500, Marcel Lusky, 32.5 thousand. Vanessa Kate, 35,000. Big Hooney, 35,000. Our very own Reno Grinder, great run, buddy. He cashed out 50,000, and Iris Lute cashed out 57,500. So if anybody wants to talk about any of that or bring anything else up, now's your time. I'm going to start with ASG. Go ahead, buddy.
Sure. So some other people in the main, you got Francisco 4-betting people with like 7-3 offset offsuit still in there. As we said, Sean Deeb, Daniel Hashem. Who else do I recognize on this list? Brock Wilson, Sean Winter, Dylan Smith, Todd Brunson, Masato, and it looks like there's at least 3 to 4 women still in it,
Yes.
including
Um,
besides the 2 you mentioned, there's also Sarah Lee, and somebody said Kanya Zhang, who's got 4.365 million, is also a woman, but I had trouble verifying that.
And I'm going to tell you something. If there's one thing I'm disappointed in every summer when I'm looking at names, is the fact that there are so many foreign names that you can't tell if they're female or male. And I really wish that on the player's profile, it would say F or M so we could tell if it's female or male so we know who we're, because I feel like every year I'm missing some of the females that are in the top 10 or 15 or 20 because they have a name I don't recognize as a female or male's name because I'm not familiar with the language. And so I wish they would, and I'm sure they never will because, there's some asshole out there that would complain that they're identifying males and females on the app, for public consumption and some dumb fucks. But anyway, it would be nice because guess what? Then I could shout out some more names, right? But right now, it is what it is.
Well, also some people don't like being specially marked because of the extra attention it gets, so yeah, goes both ways, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's your opinion. No problem. I have no problem. I just, from a media point of view and somebody that's trying to recognize people and give shout out to people, which we all know in the poker world is a big deal. It would just be nice for me to be able to pull it up and say, oh, that was a female in the top position. All this time we didn't know it because we don't know their names because it's in a different language than we're used to. And it's unfortunate because I do want to give those shouts, but whatever. Here we are. Okay, ASG, what else you got to bring up? I know you got stuff to bring up.
Oh, also pads and yeah. Let's see. I don't know. The Arizona thing was the biggest news that I was paying attention to. Yeah, that's basically in my opinion, the big news of the day.
Yeah, it is the big news. It really is. Joey, go ahead, buddy. Anything?
Yeah, so first of all, that is a spectacular idea because I can't tell the difference either between the names. Second
Yeah,
thing, shout out to my former New Yorker friend Josh Abity. He's now from Australia, still running deep in the main with 3 million
nice.
tips. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. He flew out here only to play the main. That's it. He moved to Australia to play the Australian Poker Open and just play Australia poker and just have a better life than New York. So apparently that's working out because he was able to fly halfway around the world just for one tournament, and he's not rich or anything. So I'm just so excited for him.
That's awesome.
Now,
Very cool.
now on another note, and any pros that are on live stream understand that you have an audience and people are watching and we can hear. So if you're going to badmouth another player or give them the finger under the table, we all can see that. Okay. There was an incident yesterday involving Dnegs where Martin, they went to 50K. Martin was at another table and Dnegs was speaking with Bryn Kenny, bad mouthing Martin, and he basically put his hand up and gave Martin the finger behind his hand, but the rest of the world could see it. Like, that's not cool, Daniel. I'm sorry. Like, you're supposed to be an ambassador for poker, for all poker, whether you like the players or not. So it just was not a good look on Daniel. I mean, I'm sure, and Martin was not even at Daniel's table. It's just that Martin's been on this whole year, this mission, so like an anti-Daniel mission. I'm sorry, I mean anti-Martin mission, but we all saw it, and it was not cool. It's edited out of the live stream, obviously, but those who are at the rail saw it.
That's so disappointing to hear. It's so disappointing to hear. I honestly, just do fucking better, Dnegs. Just do better.
Right? And it drove Colette crazy because the
Honestly.
mother and her came out and the grandmother like, what's going on here? You know, be nice.
Don't poke Colette.
Right?
Don't poke
Exactly.
the bear, buddy.
Uh,
Well, how did okay, do either of you know why Sean Perry was going off on Dnegs? Like, what's the history there? He kept shouting out that here I am in person. You got so much to say about me, like behind the keyboard kind of stuff. Here I am. Anybody know anything about that? ASG, you know anything?
No, I don't really follow anything involving Sean Perry.
Got it. It came across my feed and he's literally like 2 tables away from Dnegs yelling at him. I'm right here. You got so much to say. And, I built my following so I could call out your bullshit and everyone else's bullshit in the world of poker and the way you've treated me and others. And I was like, wow, he's really getting on.
yeah, I saw that too. And apparently it was one of those things where he was accusing Daniel of having like internet muscles, but in person, like not even saying one word. So he was like, I'm here
Right.
right now. You got something to say it. And we have to find out. I'll have to research that.
Yeah, I don't know what, like he was referencing the, years past and how he and others had been treated. And I want to say he even used the word cheated. I may be wrong, but I want to say that he even used the word cheated in the past. And I was like, that's some heavy accusations here. But again, we have to be reminded Sean Perry is a social media whore, so he will do just about anything for clicks. So we also have to take what he's doing and saying with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, I don't remember if Dnegs was involved. Like there was this whole thing with Perry, like what was that, a year or two ago, or maybe it was just months ago, and it felt like a year or two ago, where the whole poker world was getting involved, and people were bringing back up Dan Coleman's thing with him, and yeah, so I don't remember if Dnegs was involved in that. It wouldn't surprise me if he was, but yeah, because it was a while ago, so I don't remember all the players who were.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. But I was just surprised. I was like, okay, this is a little contrived because it's just like all of a sudden this video is on and he's yelling at Dnegs. And I'm like, okay, he's trying to get clicks here, but what's he talking about? And then I was like, oh, those are some pretty, like that's some heavy stuff he's saying. He definitely was calling him out for not being man enough to say whatever he says on social media to his face you know, he definitely was calling him out about that, but maybe Barry knows. Hold on. I found that interesting for sure, but there's so much to keep up with. Hey, Barry,
Good morning.
how are you, pal?
Good, good. I figure I'd give you a little background on the shitbag Sean Perry incident.
Please give us the history lesson. Go ahead, Barry.
This is where the sports betting world and the poker community overlap with each other.
Okay.
Allegedly, Sean Perry is like a beard for all these different syndicates and or whatnot, or he puts bets in for other people, high rollers and things like that. I mean, he sells picks, he bets himself, and
Right.
he's a, like you said, content whore. So he's a content creator and whatever. Just he's a clown. So he claims that he was betting into some big name poker players like Mercier and a bunch of those guys, and they were either moving the line into him or, in his words, manipulating the line, cheating him. Meaning, if he wanted to bet 500,000 on a game, they would let him, and the game was 5 points. They would let him bet 100,000 at 5, another 100,000 at 5.5, another 100,000 at 6, another 100,000 at 6.5. They would keep moving the line because of the amount of money that he's betting. He looked at that as they were cheating him.
Oh,
I mean, it's normal behavior. It's not like they had any information to, that who he was going to bet beforehand and move the line. As he would bet, they would move the line against him according to the amount of money he would bet. So he turned that into him being cheated, and he calls them out on Twitter all the time, and obviously no one responds. I don't know if it was Phil Galfond, a bunch of those
got it.
super high rollers. They don't give him the time of day.
Got it. So moving that line and not allowing him to do a 500,000 at one line is not something out of the ordinary.
Correct. That's normal.
Got it.
It's what Circa would do. If you walk in and whatever Conor McGregor is plus 200 and you want to bet $500,000, they'll say no. You can bet 100,000 at plus 200. Then we'll give you plus 180. Then we'll give you plus 160.
Got it.
They move the line according to the money that comes in.
Got it. Thank you for explaining that to us for sure. Yeah, Sean Perry, he's a piece of work. I mean, oh, you just got to listen to some of this stuff because it's just comical. And you're like, wait, what is he even talking about? And, you definitely can tell by the way the video starts that, he's just doing it for content. But at the same token, he is saying some serious stuff. Like he's calling Dnegs out on some serious stuff. So,
And that's his dad with one of the top stacks in the main, right?
oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Ralph Perry.
Yep. That is his dad. Cool chick. I see you down there, and Jeff and Exec Deck. And who's this third person? Yazi. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right, Barry, you have anything you'd like to bring up, buddy?
No, that's it. Just wanted to, I'll wait for Fat Deep to win Player of the Year before I drag him. I'm just warming up.
Oh, you cracked me up, dude. You just cracked me up. I wouldn't want it any other way. It's hard to believe we're almost down to the day 53 now. I'm just going to remind everybody. Day one of the WSOP was not day one of my Spaces coverage for the summer. Day one of my Spaces coverage for the summer was the kickoff day. So there's 52 days of the WSOP plus my kickoff day makes it 53 days. Just somebody asked me about that the other day, and I was like, you know what? I wonder if there's other people that are curious about that. So we end on day 52, which is Thursday, and Jeff Platt will join us that day. And we can have a little celebration. It's the last day. Sherry's free at last. Thank God Almighty. I'll be free at last. I say that jokingly, but you guys have to imagine 53 days in a row is a commitment, and I'm here for it. But I have to say, when it's winding down, I'm here for that as well. So, going to go around the horn one more time, and then we're going to end it because I've got to get ready for competition. Tonight, my daughter's team is playing intense tennis. If you don't know what it is, but you're a tennis lover, I highly recommend you check it out. It is a new tennis game. ASG, coming to you first. Do you have anything else you'd like to bring up, my friend?
No, just I mentioned Francisco, so I should also mention I forgot to see here. Andy Stacks is also still in the main when it comes to HCL people.
Oh, I didn't even see his name. All right, Andy Stacks. Good luck to you, buddy. Joey, anything else you'd like to bring up, bud?
Nope. Just I'm going to talk forward to an exciting day. It's going to be a little slower today watching the main, I'm sure, right? But it's getting very intense and quiet in that room. So you could kind of sense where it's going, Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I guess the homeowner, we're in an Airbnb. He's out on the porch blowing away all the spiders with the leaf blower. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but all of a sudden he appeared. That's hilarious. This house is beautiful and it's out in the woods and there's tons of itsy bitsy spiders, as my granddaughter would say. But yeah, he's blowing them off. So thankful for that. All right, you guys, we are going to get out of here and go enjoy our Saturdays. Please get outside and touch the grass if you're not on the felt or doing something today indoors. Get off social media, whatever you do. And let's watch some soccer today. This guy from, where is it? This Viking guy is hilarious. I've been enjoying it. I've been reposting some memes that have been put up about him, which are hilarious. You know, I'm here for the memes and the gifs. But it should be a great game between the Vikings and England, I believe, today at 2:30 Eastern, I think. But anyway, have a great day. Get outside, touch the grass. If you're on the felt, good luck, people. If you're on the felt in the main event, good luck, people. In the gladiator, good luck. Whatever you're playing, good luck. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in or is going to listen to this at a future time. Appreciate everyone. Have a great day. You get a chip, and you get a chip, and you get a chip.